Hey my friends, and welcome back to the Pin Drop Shop. This is episode 1 of the Basic Alterations Sewing Skills series. In this series, I'm going to show you some basic alterations and repair skills that you can use on your everyday clothing. This will be a great opportunity for us to work through some of those clothing items that have an issue, get them fixed, and get them back into your wardrobe. So today we're going to take a skirt that's a little bit too long, and we're going to hem it to make it shorter. For this project, you will need scissors, sewing pins, a ruler, sewing machine thread that matches your skirt, a marking tool like chalk, wax, or pencil, a sewing machine, and your skirt. This tutorial will be for a simple skirt like this. You can see it doesn't have very much fullness around, and the hem is pretty wide. It's about 1 inch. If you need to shorten a skirt that has more fullness, a more narrow hem, a lining, a thinner material, you may need to use a different hemming method. You can see our other videos on how to hem a formal dress to see more about those methods. First, try on your skirt and see how much length you want to remove. I want my skirt to end in between these 2 snaps here. Once you've decided where you think you want the length to end, you can fold the skirt and use some pins to secure it. Then you can see if you're happy with the length. Adjust if needed, and once you're happy with the length, you can take it off and we'll move on to the next step. Next, we'll flip the skirt to the inside and measure the fold. This fold measures 3 inches, so my skirt will be 3 inches shorter than it was originally. Next, fold the fabric one more time and we'll measure the hem. So from the folded edge all the way to the edge of the cut fabric, we have 1 inch. So this will be a 1 inch hem. Now, we'll subtract the 1 inch hem from the 3 inch fold, and that will tell us how much to cut off the skirt. So we will be cutting off 2 inches. You can remove all your pins and lay the skirt back out flat. Now we'll begin making 2 inch markings across the skirt. So I'm measuring 2 inches away from the bottom fold of the original skirt, and I'm making a mark on the fabric. We're just going to place these marks periodically, and then we can connect it to form a line that we'll use to cut on. 2 inches over, make a mark. 2 inches over, make a mark. And we can actually keep the fabric folded, so when we can cut through both layers to make this even quicker. 2 inches over, make a mark. After you have several marks, you can use a longer ruler to connect each dot and make a straight line. Now make sure your 2 pieces are perfectly lined up at the edge here. Once your two fabrics are lined up at the edge, you can cut right along the line. You'll want to take note of any button plackets or other details that are around the hem. For instance, this button placket was folded after the skirt was hemmed. So we need to rip this stitch open with a seam ripper, and then we can hem the skirt, and then we'll put the button placket back down and stitch it. At this point, you could choose to serge or overcast stitch the raw edge of your skirt, but I'm going to skip that step because this fabric doesn't seem like it's going to fray. Check your tag to make sure you can iron your fabric. If you can't, you can do the next step, but just finger crease the fold. Now we'll lift up the outer layer, and we'll begin on this back layer that has the wrong side showing, and we'll fold that up 1 inch. Check to see if it's an inch, and then we'll press and place a pin. It's never a bad idea to use a pressing cloth in between your garment and your iron to make sure you don't scorch or melt the fabric. If you had a button placket or any other detail, it might be a little harder to get the fold, but just do the best you can to get it a 1 inch fold. Next, thread your sewing machine with your thread. If you need help with this step, you can watch our other videos on how to thread sewing machines. Now it's time to start sewing. So we'll start with our folded edge to the right, and then you'll go all the way to the beginning. So I have this placket here, but whether you have that or not, once we get past that first part, what we're going to do is try to stitch close to this raw edge here. So we're not really using anything as a guide, we're just imagining a line that we're going to be stitching just close to this edge just to keep that folded down. I'm going to go to the back here at my placket, lower the presser foot, and begin stitching. So all the way around the skirt in this way. In the placket section, I ended up not sewing a small portion of the hem because it was so hard to get the machine in there being so close to the snap. So you can see the stitching line doesn't go all the way across, but it's not going to keep the hem from falling back out. The hem's not going to go anywhere. I'm just going to stitch my plackets back down and we'll be done. It's done. Let's try it on. Okay, I think it came out perfect. I'll definitely wear this skirt a lot more now that I like the way it fits. I hope you enjoyed episode 1 of the Basic Alterations Sewing Skills series. If you did, please give my video a like. If you tried this, please leave a comment down below. I would love to know how it went. And to make sure you don't miss out on future videos, please subscribe to the Pin Drop Shop channel and hit the bell icon. This will make sure you get notifications every week when we upload a new episode to the series, so we can continue working through your wardrobe and fixing or repairing pieces to make them wearable again. So thank you so much for watching, and until next time, happy sewing!